We can stop typing. Thank you very much. I just wanted to be sure that you all can hear me. All right, so let me reshare my screen back. All right. So can you see the Microsoft Office? Can we see that? Okay, perfect. Perfect. Very good. So you are welcome to the Excel class. I don't know what is wrong with I had to exchange my system. I was using Windows before. I think I used my MacBook yesterday. So I wanted to use the Windows today and it was giving me some challenges. I will make sure I solve that. So um, you are welcome to this class. It's going to be more of an introductory class, and I'm going to actually tell you what we are going to be doing today and what we are going to be doing for the whole 8 weeks. So for week 1, we'll be talking about introduction to Excel and the basic functions. I believe that most of you have installed Microsoft Excel on your system. If you're having that challenge, I will give you some links. And so you can go ahead and download them. It should not, Microsoft Excel is easy. So we start with, today we are going to start with introduction to Excel and basic functions. We're going to talk about how to familiarize students with Excel interface. Then week 2, we talk about the data cleaning and organization. And week 3, we talk about, I'm going to be teaching on using conditional functions. Then week 4, we look at working with lookups. Week 5, we will look at pivot tables and pivot charts. Week 6, we will look at teaching data visualization. And week 7, we look at the statistical analysis in Excel. And week 8, we will look at automation with macros in advanced tips. So let's first of all look at the uh, let's first of all look at let's open the Microsoft Excel workbook. So this is a Microsoft Excel workbook. I believe you can see the workbook. Okay, I can see it here as well. So now we have, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 tabs in Microsoft Excel. So you have to get used to it. Now, all what I want to teach today is just more of introduction. And if we still have time, I can delve into some calculations and the likes. So now, in Excel, we have what we call, this is column. If I click on this now, this is column. If I click on this is column A, column B, column C. So if I keep dragging and dragging, we are going to have more than Z. And if I keep dragging and dragging, we are going to have a lot of alphabets. And so the intersection between a row and a column in Excel is called cell. So now, for example, if you look at where I am now, if I want to refer to this cell, I will refer to this cell as A1. So if I want to refer to this cell, I will refer to this cell as B1. So how do I come about that? This is B up here, and this is 1 up here, by my left here. This is 1 by my left here. Now, if I want to refer to this cell, this will be C4. So you need to understand that the intersection between a column and a row is called cell in Excel. Now, if you look at where my arrow is down here, we also have what we call sheets. So you can have as many sheets as possible in Excel. And if I want to rename this, all I need to do is to right click and rename and just type welcome to Excel class. This is just an example. So if I want to add to an Excel to this sheet, all I need to do is to click on the plus here. So when I click on the plus here, and I can also rename it. So first of all, you need to understand the dynamics of all of this. That is the dynamics of the of how it works. Either you want to deal with A1 cell, B1 cell, C1 cell, because everything in Excel has to do with cells and sheets. So you need to understand that very well. And part of the things is you need to know how to navigate all these places. Now, if I want to refer to this cell now, this cell will be what? K, and this will be K3. I believe that you are understanding what I'm saying. So that's that about that. Now another thing that is very, very important is this is the home tab. Like I said, we have, it depends on the one you are using, whether it's 365 or you are using Excel or you are using 2019 Excel or stuff like that. Every Excel sheet you can change the if I type something here now, I can change the font type, I can change the font size, I can change the font size, I can make it bold, I can underline and stuff like that. Now, another thing which is very important when we are talking about data analysis in Excel is that if you have any question, just type it in the chat box. You don't need to raise up your hand. I will attend to questions after the class. Now, there's something here that is known as if you want to format a cell. So these are how you can format a cell. You can either leave it as general, as a number, as currency, as accounting, short dates, long dates, time, percentage, fraction, scientific, text. Now, let me give you an example. So if I have 26/11/2024, and I want to convert this to a long date, you can see it's already giving me date already, but I can convert it to a long date like this. And I can convert it back here to a short date, depending on the data that I'm giving. And here as well, if I have 300 and I want to make it percentage, I can convert it to percentage. And when I convert it to percentage, I can convert the whole column to percentage. To do that, all I need to do is and convert this whole column to date as well. Let me drag this out and put it here. Now, all I need to do is, if I want to convert every of this column to date field, all I need to do is come to this right hand side. You can see that the arrow changes on this right hand side. Then I will now press my mouse and drag it down. Now it's going to increase. All I'm doing is to increase the dates. That is what I'm doing. You are going to need this. So everything here, all the field here are converted to a percentage. So I have a data set here that I have prepared. It's a sales data set, and it's just to give us like a brief overview of what a data set is. Now, just like if we look at it here, the first thing to do is to actually, when you receive a data set like this, for you to understand how the data set is, you need to look at it very well and look at, okay, how am I going to use this? This is a transaction ID, although it is general here, but if you look at it, it's having both numbers and alphabets. So if I want to convert it here, I will change it to text. Now this one is having customer name. If I want to convert it here as well, I will change it to text. This one is called having customer email. If I want to convert it, I will change it to text as well. This one is having products. I will change it to text. This is having categories. I will change it to text. Now, quantity. If you look at quantity very well, these are numbers. So I will change it to numbers. Now, for unit price, the unit price here is having decimal numbers. So I will leave it as fraction because it's having decimal numbers. Oh, I will leave it as decimal, sorry, not fractions. Let me go back to. I will leave it as numbers, which suggests that they have decimal numbers. Then here, I will leave it as numbers as well. And for this, just like I told you the other time, you can see that it's showing that it is general. Whereas it is not what? It is not general. It is supposed to be a date. So I can either convert it to a long date or I convert it to a short date. But to make your data clean, it's best that you convert it to a short date. Don't look at the names. These are fake data. These are fake data. The names are not real. So they are fake data from, it's not even from Kaggle. They are fake data from Python. Python can generate fake data for you. So don't look at the numbers very well. They are not real names at all. So now here again, I can change it to text, and payment method, I can change it to text. Now, for example, this is a data set of let's assume this is a data set of a company, and these are the quantity of what they sell. They are selling, this is what they sell. They sell phones, they sell tablets, keyboard, and you are the data analyst of that company. You are the data analyst of the company. So these are what they sell. They sell tablets. Another thing that you should note very well when you receive a data set is to first of all filter. So you come here, you go to filter and you click on filter. So you can sort from A to Z or Z to A. So here we let you to know the kind of data set that is involved. And you can either select all, or if I want to select only laptops, I can select that. So these are the customer email, customer name, quantity, unit price, total price, and the transaction dates. Now, for example, now, if I want to know the total amount of quantity that was sold, let's assume that this was for the month of December 2024. So if I want to know the total amount of goods that were sold in December 2024, the total quantity that was sold. So all I need to do is to just say equal to, although I can use formulas here, but the way I want to teach you, I want you to be able to get it first. Then we'll go back to how you can insert formulas here. So for example, if I want to know all the numbers of quantities that were sold in December, all I need to do is to write equal to sum. Now, immediately you want to type a formula, it will bring out the formula for you. As you can see the formula here. So sum, and it will, look at it very well, it will also give you the syntax of the formula. That is why Excel is very, very simple. So when you put a formula, it will give you the syntax of that formula. And when you look up here as well, if you look up here, you can see that you have it here as well, which is a very good one. Now, all I need to do is to click on this place so that I don't need to cram it. You will see that it will change now. You can see the naming of the cell. F2. Now, because let's say for I want to calculate for the quantity that was sold. That is the quantity that was sold throughout this month for this data. The quantity that was sold for all of this data. What I'm having here is I'm having 1,000 data here. Now, let me stop this first. The first thing I need to do is to know the counts of all the numbers. And to do that, I can just click on any column. If you look down, you will see that I have what? Counts here. Can you see my arrow here? I have counts, which is 101. And it's even doing the sum for me, which is 5591. Now, I cannot use 101 because it's going to be 1,000 data sets, because one is here and is not part of the data at all. It's not part of the data. So we already know that the sum is 5591, but our stakeholders doesn't know how to do this. So we need to give them the information. And that is why we need to sort it out and give them the information. So equals to sum. So like I said, you come here, then that will be F1000 equals to sum F2 1000, and that will give us the total amount of quantity that was sold for all these 1000. Now, can we see? That's the total amount of quantity that was sold. That's 5581. And we can confirm that one down here as well. The count is 1001. The sum is 5591. And if I want to calculate the average, although we have the average here, the average quantity that was sold, I come here equal to average. Again, I'll click on this, then use the colon and F1000. So what I have here, I have 559. So if I'm having just two columns that I want to calculate the sum, for example, if I'm calculating just for these two columns, I don't need to use a column. So let me demonstrate what I'm saying. If I'm calculating the sum of these two quantity alone, I don't need to use column. I can use just a comma. And that is what is showing here. So sum, you can see, is just showing comma here. So that is sum quantity 1, comma F3. So that will give me the sum of these two quantities. Now, quantity and unit price, and also the total price. Now, if you look at this, the total price was calculated by what? By quantity multiplied by the unit price, because that means the price for this monitor was 852 and the quantity that was sold was 7. So it is the multiplication that gave us the total price. So if I want to know the total price of the goods that were sold for this data set, all I need to do is to equal to sum this. So then press the column H1000, and that will give me the sum of the total. That's the total price that was sold. Are you getting me? Now, let me move advance a bit. Yeah, thank you for those reactions. Let me move advance a bit. Now, there are several ways you can do this. Now, if I want to know okay, I've calculated the average, I've calculated the sum. Now, this is where the formulas are. You have average count numbers, maximum, minimum. Okay, let's do for maximum and minimum now. Now, if I want to know the maximum amount of goods, the maximum amount of goods that was sold for this month, all I need to do is to press equal to max. So if I want to know the maximum of the total price, so I click on this H1000 like that. So that this is showing me that this is the maximum quantity sold. Maximum quantity sold. This was the total price. And this was the average price. And this was the sum of quantity. This was the sum of quantity. This was maximum quantity sold. Now let's look for the minimum quantity that was sold for this month. So equal to minimum. The minimum, no, I'm still going to go back to that. It's not minimum quantity, it's minimum price that was sold. It's maximum price that was sold. So let me correct this. Maximum price sold. Maximum, no, this is minimum now. Minimum price sold. So this is maximum price sold and this is minimum price sold. Now, I know we are in 7:30 already, but yes, if I will be waiting in the comment section for somebody to type the formula for me. If I want to know the amount of keyboard that was sold, if I want to know the amount of keyboards that was sold for the whole month, just for keyboard alone, I mean products, can somebody do that for us? If you are getting me. Can somebody put it in the chat box? If we can't put it in the chat box, I will do it before I entertain questions. No, I said now the product is, these are all the products that were sold. So I want to know for just keyboard alone. I want to know the total price that was sold for just keyboard alone. That is what I want to know. No, I know that you can filter first, but you can also, I can filter. Yes, I know I can filter. Yes, that's another method. Yes, some if, yes, correct. So we have good students among us. So that is correct from Samuel Olanrewaju. Yeah. So that is correct. If I want to know let's say I want to know for keyboard, all I need to do is to use sum if. Now, it will give me it's going to give me the range, and the range, the criteria, and the sum range as well. That is what Excel does. It will give me the range, the criteria, and the sum range. And that is what one of our students has typed here, which is correct from what he did, which is sum if no, I'm not sure that is even correct. What he did there is not correct, although that's a good idea. That's a good idea, but what he did there is not correct. Let me go back to it. Let me go back to my Excel sheet. So now look at it again. Sum, what do we want to sum? That is the range, the criteria. So this is the range, which is no, that's not the range. The range is for products. So D2 to D10 to D1000. Now look at it very well. It's still showing me the formula. What is now the criteria is keyboard. That is the criteria. Now I'm going to press the criteria and I'm going to put it in a semicolon, in a column, sorry. Now, what is now the sum range? The sum range is this, H2 to H1000. So this is the amount of keyboard that was sold in this month. Amount, total price of keyboard. So this is for the total price of keyboard. So if I want to look for the total price of monitors that were sold, is equal to, again, sum if I go to the range. Okay, let's say the total price of the accessories, because you know here we are having accessory electronics. So let's look at the total price of electronics that were sold. So I will click on this, sum if, I'll click on this, then that's the range, E1000, then comma, so I'll put in a quotation accessories, then comma, then I'll put here the range, so which is H1000, then I'll press enter. So this is the total amount, the total price, of accessories sold. Now, as a data analyst now for this accessory company, for this laptop company, you have done a good job by informing them of the last 1 month, the total amount of accessories that was sold, the total price of keyboard, and the likes. I'm going to stop here. So, do we have anybody that have any question? I still have a lot of things to talk about, but let me ask if we have anybody that have any question before I move ahead. Any question? Do we have any question in the chat box? Type your questions in the chat box, please. Nobody is allowed to talk. Just type your questions in the chat box. Okay, what does the 2 stand for? And how do you sort data? Okay. Now, the 2, that means you are not present when I started. I said that for every cell, if you look at this cell now, this is M up here, and this is 2 here. 2 is by my right hand here. Look at my arrow. So this is M2. The naming of this cell is M2. Here again, this is M. This is M3. Here, this will be N1. This will be N2. So it's being named according to what is up, the intersection between the column and the row. That is how it is being named, the intersection between the column and the row. And somebody asks that, how do we sort data? Okay. Now, if we want to sort data, all you need to do is to go here, although it's not part of what I'm teaching today, but I should teach you as well, because sorting data, so you can sort by from A to Z or from Z to A. So all you need to do is to click, let's say we want to sort by the customer name and we want to sort from A to Z. So sort from A to Z. So we can see here it's starting from A now. And if I say it should sort from descending order as well, I can also do it from this place. So descending order. So you can see it's starting from Z here. Let me look at the chat box again. Okay, how do you determine? Yes, the data, yes, I'm going to share the data with you. It's a fake data, so I will share the data with everybody. I'm going to share the data with you. So, and I will give you maybe some things you can do on it and practice around it. So somebody said, how do you determine the formula to use? Now, to determine the formula to use, yes, it's case sensitive. Some people might not understand what case sensitive means. What we mean by case sensitive is, if it is capital letter that was used, you have to use capital letter all through. So how do you determine the formula you used? Now, to determine the formula you are going to use, I think it's very okay to determine it. Like, it's very easy to determine the formula to use, because if they're asking for they're asking the total number of goods, you know that is sum. That is sum. That is sum. Somebody is asking, how did you generate the whole data? Now, I use Python to generate that data. Don't rush. If you are in Python class, maybe I will teach that, but no, even I'm not sure we'll get to that. It's a fake data. It's not a real data. And Python can help generate fake data. So that's why I said I'm comfortable releasing the data to you. It's a fake data. But I can tell Python to recreate data for me, and so that it will look real. But it's a fake data, it's not anybody's data. So that's why I can give it to you. So it was generated through Python. But I will give you I will send the data set to everybody in the group to download. Then what is the latest Excel to be used? I have Office 2016. Yes, Office 2016 can work. It's okay. Somebody said, please drop yes, I will drop the link to download Microsoft Excel immediately after the class. It's very easy. Even if it is Office 65 that you want to use, for Office 65, you will have to pay for Office 65. And if you are using Windows 11, all you need to do is to go to Microsoft Store and you can download Office 65, but you have to pay for it. So how do we get 1,000? I don't understand that question. I'm sorry, I don't understand that question. How do we get 1,000? I don't understand. Can we also use Team and Excel side by side to be able to practice? I will say that for your own good, listen first. Then when I send you the data, then you can practice yourself. And that is why what I'm doing is recorded. So you can go to my YouTube video, even if you miss it. If maybe you didn't get what I explained, you can go to my YouTube video and now do it side by side. Maybe you are watching it on your phone and you are also practicing yourself. So MacBook Excel and HP Excel, are they the same? It depends. MacBook Excel, it depends on what you have. MacBook will only accept 365 most of the time. But HP Excel, you can have 365 on HP Excel. So it's not MacBook that designed Excel. It's not HP that designed Excel. You have Office 2016, 2019, and you can have Office 365. So it is Microsoft um that produces. They are all Microsoft products. It is Microsoft that produces Excel. It's not about HP. It's not about MacBook. So I would suggest if we have the data and do this side by side. No, I've explained that. That means you will not listen to me and you will not understand. So that is why I said that first of all, listen. When you listen, then you can practice at your own leisure time. I will send you the data set. Then you can practice at your own leisure time. If you are using Excel 2013, it's fine by me. If these are basic functions for a beginner like me, then I'm in trouble. That's why I didn't want to go into the sum if, because I don't know if it's a bit too much for you. Don't worry, you are going to get it as long as you are practicing. You are going to get it. I can assure you that one. As long as you are practicing, even if you don't get it while I'm teaching it, just go to my YouTube video again and go and watch it again and just practice side by side. Like I have explained, you are going to get it. Don't worry. I've told you Excel 2010 will work. Now, why do we sum by 1000? We are not summing by 1000. Let's go back to the data set. The data set is, look at it from here. Now, the total number of the data set is 1000. That means you didn't follow. Look at it, count. Look at it down here. 1001. And I told you that we are having one. The title is up here, which we can count with it. So that is why we have 1001. Do you understand it now? So it's not like we are summing by 1000. It depends on the total number of data sets that you have. Now, it is not this data set I'm going to give you. I will give you another data set that you are going to work upon as practice. So you must not assume that is 1000. You first of all need to check what is the count. When you click up here, it will tell you the count of the total number of all the data sets. But here, you are going to remove one, which is the title up there. Yeah, it's the number of rows. Yes, that's correct. Total number of all the entries in the cell. That's correct. I cannot get free Excel for my MacBook. I'm not sure you can have free Excel for your MacBook. That is not possible. I think for MacBook, it's only Office 365 that can work. Because for my MacBook, I've only been using Office 365 on it, and that has been only things that have been working. Yeah, okay. At the right hand corner, there is analyze data for 2016. Don't worry, we are going to get there. If it doesn't appear, we'll show you how it will appear on your 2016. It is hidden. Every Excel has analyze data. It is hidden. Even if you are using 2013, it's there. It's very much there. And I can come back to, like, when we get to when we want to use analyze data, I will show you on your 2016 how you can bring it out and how you can enable it, but it is there. Now I don't want to, there's no need of rushing. Now I've not rushed. People are saying they don't get it because somebody is saying continue teaching, sir. No, there's no need to rush. I think the best thing is for us to get it first. Like the small things that I've done now, people did not understand. Some people did not understand. So I had to go back again. I think it's best, quantity is best, the quality is better than quantity. So it's best that we understand. So what is the rows are not up to on 1000? Like I said, that means these questions you are asking, that means you did not listen. 1000 is the total number of rows that we have. Is the total number of rows that we have. And I said calculate the total number of quantities that were sold. So that is what we are doing. So if you have 2,500 rows, that will be 2,500. People are saying we should go back to class. And some people are saying that, how can I use 365? You can't use 365 without subscription on MacBook. It can't be hacked. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. You will still have some time. If people are not asking questions, I can go on. How did you generate a summary of all the products in the product cell? I have talked about that the other time. It's a fake data set. I will send the link to download. Okay. Some if you are using Windows, you can always use Microsoft 2019. It's not compulsory that you pay for 365. You can use 2019, you can use 2016, and you can use all those. I'm tempted to continue, but I'm also tempted that some people are not, they are saying that they don't understand. So, for those people that probably joined us late, let me give a quick recap of what I taught today. So, let's have a quick recap of what I taught today. I'll go back to the. So, when I started, I explained to you that there are rows. Now, Excel has all these tabs: home, insert, draw, page layout, formula, data, review, view, developer. For some of you, you might not have this developer on your system yet, on your Excel yet, but it is there. It's just embedding. So when we want to use it, I will tell you how to bring it out. So we have data, formula, page layout, and these are everything that we are going to be using. But majorly today, what we touch more on is the home tab. And I explained to you, I said, this is column and this is row. All these are rows and this is column. I think that one is very, very clear enough. And I said the intersection between a column and rows is what we call cell. So all these are cells. So if I want to name this cell, I will name it according to the row up here and also the column down here, which is the numerical figures down here. So you have B. So if I want to name this is B1. So this is what? B22. This is what? E8. This is what? G2. This is what? J4. So that is how it is. And while I was teaching as well, I talked about how you can sort and how you can filter. This is sorting and filter. And I also talk about converting when you are given a data set, you come here and convert that data set to either general, number, currency. For example, now, this total price, I could decide to change it to currency. And because I'm in the UK, that is why it's changing to pounds. Unit price as well, I could decide to change it to currency. So I have 4,242.98 pounds, 98 pence. So this one here, just like when I started, I can decide to change this to long dates, depending on what the stakeholder wants and depending on the condition for that time, depending on what is needed. So you can have a data set that is not well labeled. You need to understand how to convert them, change them to general, and do some sort of calculations. There are still a lot of formulas that are here that you can practice on your own. You can do the sum. I only did sum today. I did average. You can make, and all of it I did sum if. This is standard deviation. You can use any of these formulas. I used maximum, minimum, and the likes. And if you want to check more, these are just recently used. Just go to this place, go to formulas, come here, and go to more functions. So it's going to show you more functions here alphabetically. You can see it's going to show you more functions here. I think some people are already asking questions. Yes, I have said that I will share the data and I will ask you to do, although I might increase the data sets. Don't worry, if you miss the start, I just did a recap. And if you are not still clear enough, I will put it on my YouTube within 24 hours to 48 hours. Within 24 hours to 48 hours. So you can watch it. So how are we supposed to know? Now, I've not treated or hand. I've not treated that. So I'm not going to answer that question. That when are we supposed to know? I didn't touch and or. I didn't touch it. So I will not answer that question. When I touch it, when I explain it, because if I explain it now, that's going to take our time. When I explain it, maybe in our next class, when I explain it, then you can ask question if you are not cleared. But I didn't talk about and or in this class. All I talked about is using the functions, and I've given you a very good example of how we use it. And to be clear to you, I still use all these functions today in Excel in my place of work. So that is why I said it's very, very important you know how to use it. I still use it in my place of work today. So it's very, very important that you know how to use it. Do we have any other question? So when the YouTube video is ready, what I will do is I will not send the data sets. I will not send the data sets to you directly. The data set will be underneath the comment section of my YouTube video. So you will go and check and watch the YouTube video. Then the questions will also come underneath the comment section of the YouTube video. But if you don't subscribe to the YouTube video, you won't be able to see it because I'm going to make it private. I'm not making it public. I'm going to make it private. So somebody asks, why is sum if used and not sum or other option? Now, the difference between sum and sum if is just the word if. If is a conditional statement. So we summed up everything when we didn't need any condition at all. So if is a conditional statement. So we use sum if because we wanted to know how many keyboards that were sold for the month. That was why we use sum if. So when you have a condition, that is when you know that you are going to use sum if. When you are using formula, always note that you need to start with equal to. What I mean by that is when you are using a formula, when you want to use a formula here, always know that's the first thing, equal to. Then you can put either sum or average or anything. You can use average if as well. Average if as well. You can use it. So we have 2 minutes more. Yeah, for the YouTube video, I'm going to send the YouTube. Yeah, I'm going to send my YouTube channel to you. So it's on WhatsApp. If you're on the WhatsApp group, you are going to see it. If you're on the WhatsApp group. So somebody is asking that does a junior entry data analyst have to deal with Excel alone? I answered that question yesterday. Like when I was talking about in the webinar yesterday, it depends on the role. But mostly a junior entry data analyst, you have to know Excel. Excel is the basics. You have to know it promptly, and you have to be able to use it promptly as well. Please, can you include DAX and Power Pivots in the course outline? See, I've just started, and people are even complaining that I said beginners will understand. When it comes to DAX and Power Pivots, that is advanced Microsoft Excel, and that is not in the course outline for this. That is advanced, and I'm not going to be teaching. We are going to talk about pivot tables. If you see the outline, let me go over the outline for you again. So this is the outline once again. I've done this. I familiarized students with the Excel interface. So next week, I'm going to teach a bit on the formulas again next week before I move to how to clean data. Then the third week, I will talk about conditional functions, that is applying logical functions for basic decision making. Then VLOOKUPs. Excel is very much, so we can't cover everything. So some will come for advanced. So then we'll talk about VLOOKUPs. All these are what I'm using even in my place of work. Pivot tables and pivot charts, data visualization, statistical analysis in Excel, then automation with macros. So that is what we are going to be teaching. Can you share the outline where we can copy them? Yes, I can share the outline so that you can know, since yeah, and that will be in the YouTube channel too. So we are almost so in every class I will always be giving a recap of what was taught. So you can go to my YouTube channel in the next 48 hours. So you will see this lecture, and you will also see the data sets, and you will see a Microsoft Word on the questions on an assignment you can work upon. But I will notify you on the WhatsApp group. If you have enjoyed this class on the YouTube video, give a good comment about it as well. And if you can give me a good review on the YouTube, that would be nice. So we are going to stop sharing now. And if you have enjoyed the class, just give me a round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I'll see you next week, Monday. So majorly we'll be talking about the data cleaning and everything. And I will do a recap of all these, the sum if, the sum before we start next week. Hopefully everything will be all right. So thank you very much for joining the class. God bless you.